Good evening once again. We are back. It's been a couple of weeks, but don't worry, we are back with the Arsenal Social Extra straight after this.
To Martinelli, he's in the box, Gabriel Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seals it.
Good evening, my friend. How are we doing?
Oh, yes. It's North London once more. 5-0. Come on, top of the league. How good is that feeling right now? How good? Filthy 5. Come on.
You know, especially after last week where we had that little bit of a bump.
Was it?
To come back with that 5-0 at the weekend has really lifted my spirits. And not only that, I got to watch the game by your side on Sunday. And what else could I ask for?
It was like a drunken podcast together for a change, and we could swear as well. So I was allowed to swear. It was absolute, mate. It was a real pleasure. I've got to say, and again, say hello to your dad as well and your little one there. It was absolutely brilliant to get because it was genuinely felt like we were doing a podcast, but actually watching the game, watching us thump Nottingham Forest 5-0, my friend, 5-0.
Neither of us had, actually predicted that either. We were all a bit more conservative than that, but we needn't have worried about it. So, so listen, it's been a couple of weeks. We've got quite a lot to cover. I know a lot of stuff's been going on, but I know we've got a lot to cover tonight. But just before we get going, for those who are watching, don't worry. We are also all over the Champions League tonight because we've got obviously Liverpool, Napoli. We've got Marseille playing some crap team from down the road. Charlton, Fulham, I can't remember. Anyway, Marseille are playing, Alexis Sanchez and all that. So, a bit like Soccer Saturday, but, an Arsenal Social Tuesday. We'll give you the live updates as they come in, so don't worry about that. If you were worried about that, don't worry about it. Just watch us. We'll be all good. Where should we start? I guess we have to start with the game on Sunday. We will probably talk a little bit about stuff happened before, but let's just start on a higher. Sunday. As I said before the game to you in person, and then I've done the vlog as well, I thought it would be a lot tougher than it was. I thought recently Forest had picked up. They had closed their, they'd only conceded 2 in the last 4. They only scored 2 as well in the last 4. But they'd tightened things up a lot at the back, and I was expecting them to be hard to crack. And it wasn't really that case, was it?
No, it was a bit of a whitewash, if I'm honest with you. We absolutely battered them, and we'll have a little look at the stats as we go through. But honestly, I was shocked. Well, what is that you got there, sir? What is that you got there?
Gin fizz, courtesy of my oldest.
Oh, the gin fizz, the ultimate. Oh, just quickly, while we're on the subjects of alcohol. And obviously everything in moderation, people out there. Want to put a big shout out to Callum, who we met. Callum, the man who has the most amazing Arsenal tattoo that I have ever seen in all of my life.
Which one? He had it on the front, on the back. It was everywhere.
Mad fan, absolute mad fan. So hopefully, and Callum's opening his new bar in Shoreditch fairly soon. And we're gonna do a live podcast there. Not putting you on the spot there, Callum, but thank you very much, mate, for the offer. So we'll talk about the game. Talk about the game itself. I think it was unbelievable. Really, it was unbelievable when you look at the manager's statements afterwards and what he was saying. It was like sort of apathy on there. If that was me and I was in Arteta's shoes and I was on the wrong end of a 5-0, I'd be absolutely losing my nuts. And it's interesting because I've been looking at the statistics going back over the last few games, and it's one of the things that we were talking about as we watched the game is, Adam, the passing accuracy from last year to this year has gone up exponentially. We're at a sort of 80 to 90% accuracy ratio just on our passing at this moment in time, and that was so adamant. Well, it was adamant. It was so obvious. Sorry, as we watched that game, you watch the we were saying that space, the absolute acres of space on the wings were unbelievable, weren't they?
They were still, they just didn't get it. Like it was there, and they were looking at the space. They just didn't want to close it because they were so worried. I mean, we were talking about their fullbacks. They were just constantly going in, and then our wingers, like especially in that first 20 minutes, were just like, "Oh, well, I'll stay out here then. Like, why would I go anywhere else?" And like Martinelli and Saka were just had like literally the whole flanks to play with. It was unreal.
They were. It was interesting. The other one that we spotted very early on was that flip between Martinelli, and it led to the first goal, didn't it? The flip between Martinelli and Xhaka on the wing was a little bit of genius, I have to say.
It was. Xhaka kind of flipped out. Martinelli went straight in the centre, and that's like you said. That's where that first goal come from. Like it had happened just before that goal, hadn't it? We'd seen it happen just before the goal. We were like, "Oh, look at that!" And then it happened again. I mean, it was obviously planned because it confused the hell out of Forest because they weren't really picking up Martinelli. They were looking for, Gabriel, Jesus. They were looking for Odegaard coming in, but they just didn't see Martinelli coming until it was too late.
I have to say, and when you look at the, and you got to talk about Bukayo Saka as well, because honestly, that Lodi, he had a torrid time. He just did not want any of that. And if you just watch the way that him, and then obviously Reece Nelson when he came in was actually running in on Lodi. It was unbelievable to the point where they had the their number 9. I can't pronounce his name. Ayomi, that's it. Was actually tracking back to try and they were going 3 up on Saka. Bit of a nasty tackle, have to say. Bit of a nasty tackle on him, and it looks like he's going to be fit for the game. Thank the Lord on Sunday against Chelsea. But down the wings, you see that, and there was that run from Tomiyasu as well. Remember where he was coming up on the left?
He went out wide, didn't he?
And that run where he kind of went into the centre, running into midfield, right into the centre of midfield, dragged that space in. We just kind of ran in and scored, didn't we?
It's true. Sean, evening, Sean. Good to see you, mate. I think Sean's right there. They thought if they could stop Odegaard, there'd be no distribution. But that was true, though, because whenever Odegaard had that ball, we had 2 or 3 people around him. But again, that then created space for so many other people to get involved. And again, I thought Xhaka had an amazing game again, like in that kind of central midfield. Thomas Partey was amazing again. And 3 central midfielders for me, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard. They worked so well together in that game that Forest just could not keep up. They were looking at, and we saw, what was it, they're 22, wasn't it? It was just going on all the time. He was going for Xhaka all the time.
Yeah.
Remember,
it was their captain, wasn't it? It was their captain there, 22, was Ryan Yates. Yeah.
So like we were just saying early on that how he didn't get booked early, I don't know, but he was just literally man marking Xhaka, which again was allowing Partey space, which was allowing Odegaard space, and it was they got their tactics all wrong. I mean, as I said to you, I've got a mate who's a Forest fan, and chatting to him before the game, he was kind of pointing out that they've been playing a certain way, and they've been keeping it tight and trying to keep them the back on the counter, and they tried to do it against us, but it just didn't work. I mean. They played exactly the same against us as they did against Liverpool, which they got a result. But, it just didn't happen against us, which was great. Whether we watched that game against Liverpool and figured out actually how we can play against them, but they didn't have a clue how to play against us. And let's be fair, I mean, it should have been more than 1-0 at half time, but it could quite easily have been 7 or 8 at the end. The chances that Jesus missed.
Someone buy Jesus some shooting boots, for God's sake. He so deserves a goal.
Oh, he should. I mean, a month ago he would have put 2 of those away. I think a month ago he would have easily stuck 2 of those away. But when you're a striker, you just need a bit of luck sometimes. You just need something to roll right for it. It will come. He's doing everything else right. He's doing everything else right, apart from standing still, like you said. Stand still for a bit. Stop running. Just stay where you are.
His contribution to the team's amazing, but I think you called it out, Adam. You sort of said first 20 minutes, we were flat at them. We had loads and loads of space. Martinelli switch, and when we watched it as Martinelli ran out from the defence, it was making massive holes for people to run in and out of. Got to agree with Shaw. Trying to stop Odegaard didn't work. Saka was just on a different level. That boy was on a different level. And I know I've been critical of him. Right, I know. And I think B's been finally listening to me now. So I think he had an outstanding game, an absolutely outstanding game until he was so brutally, hacked down on that. But for me, I still think, and I'm going to be very controversial here. I still think we've got another gear to go, because I don't think, and Jamie O'Hara, you're welcome on the show, by the way. To come out and say, well, it's only Nottingham Forest, because after that was just a little while after the idiot actually turned around and said, "I know it was here." Sorry, it was his idiot friend Cundy turned around and said Scottish football's absolutely rubbish, which I thought was an interesting comment to make. It was. I just feel that our the way that we like move the ball around, the way that we recycle, the word I'm looking for, recycling the ball, we were a little bit slow. And it's as we was watching, and I just feel that we've got another gear to go. I think this team can actually go a little bit further, a little bit faster, if they recycle the ball correctly. We fell into the trap. I think, Adam, you picked it up really early on, and we're falling into that trap as we started to narrow down, and we started playing Nottingham Forest game.
And that's how they started coming back into it. Towards the end of that first half was when Forest did have their best spell of the game, when Gabriel nearly committed defensive suicide, which I couldn't believe he'd done. Same thing with the game. Like, the first thing you taught as a kid is never play it across the back. So we just passed it straight to their number 9. Like, oh no, it was Lingard, thankfully. Passed it to Lingard, so we were safe. But that was like, could have been a hell of a lot different if you would have put that one away. It would have been 1-1 maybe at half time. But that was their only spell when we let them, when we played them at their game, when we went narrow. But we come out second half and it was just, that was it. Like, I think at half time, Arteta literally said to him, look, play like you did in the first 20 minutes. Stay wide, play your own game. Don't play them at their game. And then once we got into that stride in the second half, it was beautiful, wasn't it? And some of those goals were just amazing to see. I mean,
Arte's goal was just, my lord. And that was up our end. We was watching all of that, weren't we? We was watching that whole thing go on. And when he put his lace, because we looked, didn't we? I remember the two of us were looking, thinking, he's not going to, oh my God, he's done it. And he absolutely leathered it. And again, the amount of space that he had, where the players were, again, they're doing like a 2 or 3 on Saka. They're watching Martinelli. Xhaka was running in. Partey just had acres of space, and he just leathered it straight into that top right ankle.
Literally, you've seen that and the Spurs goal he scored. How similar. I saw something online with the speed, the distance. It was like pretty much identical. It was an impressive strike. I mean, he's obviously got it in his locker. We haven't seen it, up until recently. But we know he's now got that. It's like I said to you, it's like it's either a great strike or it's a John Jensen strike. Do you know what I mean? It's like
what was really good to see as well was Serge Aurier playing and being absolutely, he was just getting it left, right, and centre between. If it wasn't Tomiyasu, it was Martinelli. If it wasn't Martinelli, it was Xhaka. Absolutely tearing Aurier.
We were taking the pee out of his body language the whole game. He just didn't want to get involved. His body language was like,
not
what
again.
Am I doing? Why am I here?
Stop running. Please stop running.
Really hated it. You know what? Interesting point you made just now about the Jamie O'Hara thing, about it's only Nottingham Forest. And it made me think of a few things, because we're getting this a lot, but I don't know why any other teams don't get it. So we had the same thing about a month ago, I think it was, for Brentford, when we beat Brentford. So this was obviously the Brentford thing. We beat them 3-0, yeah? And at that stage, it was like, but it's only Brentford, okay? So then I looked at the same, this was something I picked up online. You look at other teams' results at Brentford recently, or over the past season or 2 seasons. That one, we never heard then it was only Brentford when Man United got stuffed. But then it was like, it's early season. He's got his early games, whatever.
Ten Hag hasn't sorted it out.
We had that one last season when Liverpool weren't the Liverpool they are this season. The Liverpool they were last season, who were like gunning for the title, 3-3. No, it's only Brentford then. And then early, a couple of weeks ago, that one, Chelsea, 0-0. But for me, those 4 results say a lot, because it annoys me the hell of a lot that no one else says it's only such and such team unless it's for us. And is it because I don't really listen to the other teams' stuff? But I do listen to the radio and I do listen to watch the TV. It just don't, like when Forest beat Liverpool, it was not, Forest beat Liverpool. It was that Liverpool lost. It was a massive shock. They didn't kind of talk about Forest as much. Like, I don't understand it. What's the agenda?
So a lot of it is, you know, the likes of Cundy, the likes of O'Hara. I mean, look, they weren't really very big football. It's not like they were a Thierry Henry or anything like that. They were just second rate. They're just doing clickbait. Yeah, it's just clickbait type stuff that they want to inflame it. And I love it. I love the fact that they do this. I love the fact that they get all trying to get us, because what it does, it builds a bit of a solidarity for us. Yeah. They then turn around and go, oh, it was only Liverpool, the Brentford win. You know, like, look where Liverpool are in the league right now. You know, Brentford only beat this. It's just Liverpool. You know, no, they don't do that, because the problem is those guys are kind of cowards, really, because they hide behind their, I was a Tottenham player, Cundy was I was a Chelsea player. Well, you played 3 games and they kicked you out, you loser. But, you know, and they sit behind that about how brilliant they are, because, you know, at the end of the day, Chelsea didn't fare too well this weekend either, did they, Mr. Cundy? Don't see him coming out and doing anything on that. So
none of this. It was only Brighton. None of this.
Yeah, I don't know. It was only Brighton. It's only Brighton. That, you know, and we all know we are you know, from our punditry perspective, you know, and the sort of armchair managers that we are, we know full well that Brighton actually a pretty decent side. They're really well put together, well drilled, and actually they play particularly well. And it's really good to see their manager going back there and getting his backside handed to him on the plate. But I just sort of think, for me, I love this. I love this negativity because it's getting under their skin. Right, it's annoying them. It's annoying all of these pundits. We are bucking the trend, and I'm just enjoying it while the sun's out right now. You know, and if it gets to the end of the season and we don't win the league, hey, you know what? I don't care. You know, because I think it's been great for us. It's been great for the fans, and again, and it winds up these Neanderthals that are on these talk stations that believe that they actually know what they're talking about, and they don't, because they don't have the passion, drive, or love. And that's for every fan in every team. So every fan that loves Liverpool or Chelsea or Man United or Arsenal, whatever it happens to be, there's a love for our own teams. There's a love for what we do. But the fact of the matter is, these pundits hate it. You know, if Arsenal do well, and long may that continue.
Interesting point from Sean there, though. He says, like, you know, same thing happened to Liverpool when they were top, same happened to Leicester as well, Chelsea also. Maybe that is it. Maybe I've just never realised it as much because we ain't been top.
We've been top.
For so long. But like you said, like, I'm enjoying it at the moment. You know, I'm hoping it will continue. Do I think it will? I'm a realist. You know, I think we've got an opportunity now, especially going into the World Cup and getting into the January transfer window. We've got an opportunity now to put a statement out there. So I hope that we are serious and we do strengthen where we need to. I think we need at least 2 bodies in, definitely. So it was only Forrest, though. I'm assuming that was yourself. And Sean just said,
I think it's probably Rich, yeah.
It's true, though. Laura Woods is direct opposite. You know, we love Laura Woods, though, don't we? We get her on. Laura, come on, Laura.
Come on. We're friendly here.
But that's the thing. I mean, like, I'm hoping it's going to continue as long as it can. I mean, like, we're 12 games into the season now. We're top of the league. Did I think we would be there? No. Am I really enjoying it? Yes, every single minute.
Love it.
Do I love singing out "We Are Top of the League" in the morning in the kitchen? Yeah, of course I do. I absolutely love it. Will it all come crashing down? I hope not. But let's just see. I'm enjoying it week by week, and let's just move on like that.
So let's share. I want to share something out, actually. So at the beginning of the season, Godfather Rich himself, we've got our little WhatsApp group. We were having a little chat, weren't we? And we said, what was our expectations? What do we see happening? I don't think in our wildest dreams, except for Neil, because love it. Neil, ever the optimist, I said he would win the league. I said
Neil say we'd win the Champions League this year, and we weren't even in it.
Yeah, I don't know what Neil was on that day, but he was definitely happy. But you know, I think when we turned around and said at the beginning of the season, we'd love to win Europa, or at least for me, it was at least go as far as we possibly can in Europa, potentially win it. Would love to do that, and be in the top 4. That's where we need to be.
We've done the pre-season show, didn't we? And I think we all kind of agreed on that.
Yeah, and that's kind of weird. But to get to this far into the season, coming up to a couple of games before the World Cup, and to be top of the league and be in contention and still be there, and actually beating the likes of Liverpool and beating the likes of the Brentfords of this world and these types of teams, and going in and doing it week in, week out. That's got to it's got to be, you know, a positive for all the Arsenal fans and all the vitriol that we're seeing coming out on the back of this right now. It's just the whole media hot pot that sits behind it. So I said top four, and I don't really care where I am in the top four, to be honest with you. I want us back in the Champions League. I desperately do, because it means we get the money and the capability to get the players that you know we could potentially need to augment this amazing team. And I think if we were to strengthen, I think you're absolutely right. We talked about we want a unit of a striker, you know, really like Ivan Toney, absolutely brilliant. So if we could bring someone like that into the team, absolutely, some real strong unit that's gonna do something a little bit more than Jesus will, who is amazing anyway. Another midfielder, and I can see the Tielemans thing. So it was interesting, right? The minute I see Brendan Rodgers say, the minute I see Rodgers coming, I go, no, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, blah blah blah. You know full well that they're going to have to get rid of him. But for me, someone like Tielemans actually is a backup to Xhaka and Partey, because you know that one of those two is going to get injured at some point. And Partey.
We do need someone. We do need that kind of. This is Rich, second, third, or fourth makes no difference. Greed. That's from Atletico. Which one are we talking about here?
Simeone.
What's his name?
The Portuguese guy, the Portuguese striker.
João Felix.
Yeah, João Felix.
We can't afford him anyway. They want like 100 million on for him. Surely not. But
so I paid for him when he was like 7 or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I'm enjoying it as we go along. Do you know what I mean? Like we'll keep going week by week. But what's not to enjoy? What's really not to enjoy at the moment? I mean,
banging five bangers. I mean that goal. Well, do you remember when we were sitting there and I said, "Oh my God, watch what Odegaard when he turned his back and sort of went into 3 defenders and then spun them, put the ball in for that for Reece Nelson." And the good thing with Reece actually following that on, like he took that shot, didn't he? Goalie saved it and then went in on the rebound.
Let's talk about Reece Nelson for a minute, because when he got injured, he was the last person we thought would come on, but we were both really happy that he did. Do you remember? Yeah. We said it's going to be Vieira. We wouldn't mind Marquinhos, but we were certain it was going to be Vieira, weren't we? We were like, yeah, it's going to be. Yeah. But then when he come on, we were both really happy. We were like, right, this is his chance. This is his time. Do you think he is going to get now a chance to kick on, get some more game time now? Surely he's warranted that. I know it's only one performance. It's not even a 90-minute performance, but surely he deserves now a chance to at least have an opportunity to get game time now, minutes.
I have been saying, and you lot have been having a go at me, and I'm pointing at Melvin now for sure, because Melvin shot me down on this one. I would love to see him get another contract. I think as a squad player, right, and understanding that he'd be a squad player, I think he's a brilliant asset to have, because the kid is genuinely talented. I think he can do a real good job, and his pace is blistering. And we saw it. We absolutely saw it. I mean, Saka obviously had lumps kicked out of him yet again. Wasn't defended by. I'll have to say that ref did look like Super Mario, didn't he?
Super Mario, yeah.
Yeah, retired.
What I liked about Reece Nelson is, like I said to you before we went live, he's just direct. He's got one. He only thinks of one thing, which is going forward. He doesn't kind of track back as much. He just wants to get forward. He wants to get towards that goal, and he is electric. I think he's still got improvements to make. Don't get me wrong, but he's still young. He's still a very young kid, and he's had injury problems. But also he's played in a couple of different countries now. He's played in Germany. He's played in Holland. He's got some good experience behind him now, playing for some different teams. He needs to be given a chance. I'm glad he's still there, and I'm glad he got those 2 goals. I mean, he's done more than like Jadon Sancho in 60 minutes of football than Jadon Sancho's done all season.
Mate, I've seen more goals than Jadon Sancho. But the other part of it is you look at William Saliba. So Saliba went out on a couple of loans.
Yeah.
We'll put that one up in a sec. Saliba went out a couple of loans, came back and did well. Look, I disagree with that comment. We'll put that up now. I totally disagree. I think Nelson's a good player.
I love that. It's brilliant.
So, for God's sake, Sean.
I hope that's not the case, Rich.
No, not at all, Rich. Not at all. But put your bar humbug away. Behave yourself, Rich. No, I think he's a good player. I think he could be a good utility player for us. I think he could do well. And unlike Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I believe that Nelson will play whatever position that Arteta wants him to play, and not have a silly stroppy soul can turn around and go, "I'm going to play midfield." Yeah, good enough, pal. And your time at Roma has shown that. Your time at Southampton showing that as well. He's already, he's already having a go at players. Anyway, but we'll take that back. But I just think it was great to see him come on. I'd love to see him play on Thursday as well. I think he could really, really kick on from this. Marquinhos is another amazing play that we've got as well. So statistically, if we ever look at the stats that we're on the game, our possession was insane. So we had like 70% possession, accuracy of passing accuracy 87%, and we had 30. We had 9 shots on target. So we're starting to slowly but surely build up our shots on target, which is one thing I've been bitching and whinging about. Funny enough, according to the stats, Nottingham Forest only had 2 shots on target.
Is that right? I mean, the Lingard one where it got blocked by Ben White, that would pass as 1. The one where Lingard nearly hit the corner flag definitely wouldn't count. I think Ramsdale did save 1, didn't we? We figured that in the first half. Ramsdale did save 1. I mean, it was a very weak save, but yeah, they were very limited, let's be honest. I mean, but it wasn't to say that the defence didn't play well, because I thought Tommy had a good game.
Yeah.
You were right. Ben White wasn't at the races for the first 15 minutes at all.
Yeah.
But he grew into the game and become, decent enough. Saliba looked good when he needed to. I think that the defence done what they needed to do when they needed to do it. They weren't under immense pressure the whole game, but it shows that they were switched on enough to be when they needed to be. So, I mean, what's not to love about that performance? I mean, it's going to be tougher on Sunday against Chelsea away. Let's be honest. They're coming off a 4-1 away loss, so they're going to have something to prove. So we'll see what happens there. And it'll be interesting to see, how we do line up. Whether Saka gets back or if Saka doesn't, will he start with Nelson? Who knows? He's definitely got to start with Nelson against Zurich. He's definitely got to do that.
Well, we can't risk Saka. We just can't risk him, because it was quite a brutal kick that he got. In fairness, and why not? Why not give him a chance? Why not give him a chance? Because look, if he's tails up, if he's feeling good about himself right now, he's banged 2 goals in. He should have got that assist as well. I think it'd be time to play him. I think it'd be time to play him. Give him a chance. Give him a run out. Let him go out there and let him prove to everybody. So, as I said, let him actually prove to everybody that he's got the capability to bring on and do something different. It's interesting that 24% of the kicks taken by Nottingham Forest were long kicks down the field. So they'll boot them down the field. 7% for us. So again, it goes back to that fast play out in the wings, that moving the ball around, getting it into those, the speed merchants, actually moving it forward. It's starting to play dividends for us because people are finding it difficult to play against us. I think Chelsea is going to be a tough game. I totally agree with you. Stamford Bridge is never an easy place to go to. But why can't we go and win? Why can't we go on and beat them? Why can't we take it to them? And there's going to be all of the Aubameyang lovers, or all that.
We did a game last year. We weren't playing well. We went to Chelsea. We 4-2, weren't it? So
was that Eddie?
Eddie and Kelly.
That was Eddie.
Super onto the 4, weren't he? So
God's sake, Eddie, come on, behave yourself.
He's due a goal this year. Eddie, he's due a goal in the Premier League. So better place to do it. Let's go for it.
Maybe
Looking forward to it.
I think now of all times is a good time to play them. And I think we've got an opportunity. We've got a good opportunity to win if we go there. But it's not going to be like Nottingham Forest. That's a London derby, so that's going to be hard. But fingers crossed.
Before we had the wonder of Forest, believe it or not, we had a couple of bad results or not positive results. We had the draw at Southampton. Obviously, we haven't really done a show since then. One of those things, and we lost away at PSV, and rightly so. We were awful that game. Let's go. But we had a meltdown as well. Not only did we have a bit of a poor performances on the pitch, we had some poor performances off the pitch in the world of Twitter that, of course, I want to share with you.
No way. I'm not having it.
We haven't had much meltdowns this year, to be fair. So we were kind of overdue one. I think the last one we had was when we did lose to Man United, and that was more of a mini meltdown because people kind of expected, etc. But so I'm going to go back to a few tweets and stuff that I found. So I've come across a guy with the most ironic Twitter handle ever, and his Twitter handle is Kind Gooner at Gooner Till I Die 19. He's named Kind Gooner. Okay, so this was after the Southampton game. Okay, there's a few from Kind Gooner. You'll get the feel for it. So Odegaard dropped another stinker. Yet Arsenal fans are burying their heads in the sand because he has blonde hair and blue eyes. He is absolutely awful, as are this fan base.
Wow.
One of the little replies from me down there. Unfortunately, it's fans like you that have no problem. Jog on.
Like
basically.
it. Jog on.
I just have, you know what I feel about people like this. It's just like completely, it annoys me. Now,
Yes.
for full disclosure, I am following him. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to see what he writes and then bring him up on shows like this to call him out.
Yeah.
So he's Kind Gooner, remember? Kind Gooner.
Gonna get him now, mate. I'm gonna contact him.
These are all of his tweets. I've got about 7 or 8 of his tweets leading from the Southampton through to the PSV game, even through to the weekend. So the second one I call from him. These are moronic Arsenal fans telling me Odegaard had a good game. In a nutshell, this is why Arsenal have been a dead club since we left Highbury. Dead,
yeah.
Right.
Okay, so hang on. Dead club since we left Highbury. 60,000 regular attendance, yeah?
Yep.
Top of the league, best start to the season for a long time, yeah? Massive investment from the owners, don't care what anybody says, they put their money where their mouth is, yeah, and run a roll. So we're dead. I don't know what the guy wants for, I don't know, does he want time travel?
The guy underneath, I didn't get all of his tweet, but dead, but you can't leave the club alone. It's like, he does. I mean, I can't work out with this guy seriously. I don't think he's really watches the games either. From his tweets, I don't think he really understands football. To be honest, he goes on. If you rate Odegaard or Nketiah, unfollow me. You know, fair enough. I didn't unfollow him, even though I rate, especially one player. I definitely rate, if not two. So fair enough. Like, you know, he's as you can see, there's a bit of an Odegaard theme. He's not a fan. Not a fan of Martin, our captain.
Actually, I'm just looking at him now. He turns around. His wallpaper says,
"Yeah,
in a world where you can be anything, be kind."
Exactly, and it also says on there something about meditation and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think he's Zen. His chakras aren't aligned or something like that. You know, maybe there's something going on there. Yeah,
I don't get it. Another one, he's now picking on Eddie. Eddie Nketiah is such a poor footballer, man. Is he saying he's a poor footballer, man, or is a poor footballer, man? The exclamation mark's not quite right. So I'm just thinking he's saying that Eddie definitely is a man.
Right. I think Well, he hasn't said he's anything other than
punctuation isn't his strong point.
Yeah,
punctuation isn't his strong point. Arteta has no footballing credibility. Caitlin does say you again. Rest. Simple. He gets a lot of comments like this. He goes on. I'm not reading that one out, but there you go.
Okay.
That was after the PSV game, or during actually. It was 17:53, 7:05.
It wasn't Odegaard's best game.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
However, I wouldn't actually turn around and say that about him, to be honest with you. By the way, 31 minutes in, 0-0 to Marseille. 31
0-0 to Marseille.
0-0 to Marseille. Yeah, I'm not going to say the other one. Liverpool-Napoli is 0-0 as well, mate.
0-0 to Napoli. Right, brilliant.
0-0 to Napoli.
So then this is after the PSV game. Sack Arteta, recall Balogun and Pepe, give the job to Vieira, then we move on. I'm guessing Patrick Vieira, not Fabio, you know, for a minute there. I mean, like Arseonomics, who we've actually mentioned on the show before, he's another prick getting involved there. Vieira or someone better, Mikel has to be chucked out. He's awful, this Arseonomics. I can't even bother reading his stuff anymore. He's that bad. And then the other one, not Vieira, Tuchel, my guy. People are getting on board with this. We lost one game. You know, we've just lost the one game. Like, we're still top of the league in both leagues. It's like, calm down, people. But, you know, you're getting the feeling of what Kind Gooner is. This is at the weekend. This is during the game at the weekend. So 2:30 2 o'clock kickoff. This is at half time.
before your captain. So it's before your captain. I thought you're a gooner. It's our captain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So get Odegaard off Vieira on how many more averages plays before your captain gets dropped. Never my captain, ever. Don't know why he has to shout. And I also don't know what game he was watching. Odegaard had a good game.
Yeah.
You know, this just gets me because like he either doesn't watch the games and he's listening to the radio, or he doesn't understand football. It's one of the two. Like, yeah,
Or he's a fan from somewhere else that wants Odegaard.
Quite possibly, he might be doing that. He might be doing that. Right. And the last one from Kind Guna, I'll show you tonight, was just Reece Nelson's 2 goals and an assist. Has he matched Odegaard's season tally in 35 minutes? Odegaard out, Nelson in. And then I put my comment underneath. Is your real name Jon Snow because you literally know nothing about football? Just to clarify, Odegaard's season stats are 4 goals and 2 assists, I think, if I remember rightly. Which again, for Odegaard's probably not as good as where he wants to be, but that's 12 games.
Well, 7 last season. So he got 7 goals last season, so I think he's doing okay so far, mate.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I'll just check that for you. Let me just check that. Go on.
But he's got a massive Odegaard agenda. Next on his line is Nketiah, then third is Arteta. And he's just not happy. Like, we won the game 5-0 in the end, and he's just not a happy man. Like, there's something not right there. I mean, he needs to meditate or hibernate better for a few years. I don't quite know what's going on, but yeah, he's another one that I found that, you know, there's a few now that are on my little list now of people that I follow just for things on this show. But yeah, it's a bit disturbing, really. So
let me just hang on a sec. Let me just go through this a sec on Odegaard. So you're absolutely right. 4 goals, 2 assists. Right, absolutely correct there. So he has a pass completion ratio of 83%, basically. And he's attempt per game. What's it? I think he's turned around and saying he's got his stats are just off the charts, mate, in comparison to last year. So, and we're only a few games in, so we're not even halfway through the season. So he's already surpassed last season.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Again, it's someone who doesn't really, I don't think, understand football. Sean and Rich have been back in the chat. Gonna till I die. Let's hope he is coming up to his 19th birthday. He must be. I mean, he's got to mature at some point, really. He means one of a kind. I can't remember what that one was, possibly 2. Be Kind needs to cease face audio, probably. And then again, my captain, is he in Goodwill Hunting? Yes, quite possibly. But yeah, I mean, you know, unfortunately, though, he wasn't really the only one who had a bit of a meltdown. He was my main culprit, but I'm going to share some other little meltdowns that we've had throughout the week as well while we're on the subject. And then I'm going to kind of move on, so don't worry about that. So Pepe doesn't leave St Mary's with just a point today. Agenda cost us 2 points. This is obviously someone who loves Pepe, but the Arsenal kit geek has said, lay off the drugs. They're bad for you, which I quite like. So that's Doozy's Tricky Reds. I don't think Pepe could have done anything else at Southampton. You know, let's be honest with you. It was just one of those games.
We're awful. We're awful. We played badly. We were leggy. It just was absolutely awful.
Yeah, I think you like this one. Fabio Vieira, worst signing we've ever made. So this was after the Southampton game. William just fell from the sky. What does Vieira do more than William?
He scores for starters.
I don't quite think that Fabio Vieira having his little 25 minutes at Southampton classes him as being the worst signing we've ever made. No one played well that day, apart from that first 20 minutes where, you know, we had a little go. Xhaka probably was our best player, but, you know, it was one of those games. Let's not get carried away, people. Our season is done, by the way. This was after the PSV game from Nate. That's it.
Hang on.
Season's done.
Hang on. We've hold on. Haven't we qualified?
Just to point out, we were still top of both leagues, Europa League and the Premier League. But our season is over.
Have we qualified for Europa League group out of the group stages now?
I like the way that you did put "by the way" at the end. Just by the way.
By the way, just in case you didn't realise.
Yeah, just in case. We've got club set managers for being this poor, but Arsenal, on the other hand, still have a serial bottler as manager. It's heartbreaking. And then Miss William underneath. Why is this nonsense on my timeline? FFS. Again, like this was again after the PSV game. Come on, it's one game. Do people sack managers for losing one game? I mean, you know, Bournemouth did when they lost 9-0, I guess. But you know, it's not generally the way forward.
I think it was the way he came out and turned around and went, "Yeah, this is going to get worse."
Yeah, I think that was it. The same guy as well, though. If PSV was a knockout game, Arsenal would be out of the competition. That alone tells you what to expect. But the thing he's missing out here is it wasn't a knockout game. It was a group game.
What I do like, he's very much like Sean Paul. He likes to state the facts. You know, if it was a knockout game, you're absolutely correct. And if we lost it, we'd be out. But since it's
I saw it's this one I follow on Twitter. I've got a post sometimes. He just says he had the other day after the West Ham game. No goalkeeper has kept a clean sheet when Marcus Rashford has scored. You know, I love
there you go. Yeah. And that's it's a good point. It's a good point, very relevant one. But yeah,
it's a really good point. I think this is where he's gone to the same school, really.
Yeah,
but the other one was tongue in cheek, whereas I think this guy doesn't quite get irony. But there you go.
I think stats is obviously not his thing. Like, leave that.
This one I wanted to talk to you about, actually. This one was like, we sold Guendouzi for 10 million and get Sambi for 15. Name me a bigger downgrade. What I'm the absolute health. And again, spelling, we're not great. But Guendouzi, obviously, we didn't get rid of him because of his footballing ability. Let's be honest. He was an idiot and he was a bad egg, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people seem to forget. Like, you know, no one was ever doubting his footballing ability. No one ever kind of said, let's get rid of him because he's a crap player. No one said that.
His reputation actually started before, but it was before he came to us. So he was known as a troublemaker. He got into a couple of fights in with the team that he was in before. And also, he was just a bit crap. And it's fine. It's fine if you want to, as you, Adam, you call it the Farmers League. You want to play in Farmers League, off you go. Yeah, that's perfectly fine, and you're going to shine and look really good. But Matteo Guendouzi is not a world-class player. Matteo Guendouzi is nowhere near what Sambi Lokonga will be. I'm not saying it's what he is now, but it's what he will be. And you know what? He's just an idiot. The bloke is an absolute troublemaker and an idiot, and someone we don't need in the team. So I tell you what, mate, you go support someone else. Yeah, if that's safe.
Can't support Marseille, who are winning 0-0 at the moment.
They're winning 0-0.
They're winning 0-0. Sean kind of agrees with Nate, though. Like, you know, stop being delusional. Season's over. Get ready for 23-24. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Burning my top. Burning my top right now.
We've had enough. And the last meltdown for tonight was something leading up to the Forest game, which, again, like, it's not so much a meltdown, but he's already getting in a state for Forest. This was after the PSV game. So I see Tommy Yasu on the start sheet versus Forest. I'm starting the craziest Arteta agenda. I'm talking 2021 Ozil thing levels. Just to clarify, Tommy Yasu did start, and this guy had no agenda after. He was full of that. There was no Arteta agenda. Maybe because we won 5-0 and Tommy had a decent game. Not quite sure, because this tweet made him look a bit of a twat now. But we said the same. We said the same thing, though. To be fair, we said we still think that starting Tommy at that left back instead of Tierney is a bit of a weird move.
Yeah.
But he did have another decent game. To be fair, he didn't really put much wrong.
He played well, but I don't. He did play well. I have to say, it's not his spot. Yeah. Well, what can Sean summed it up there actually better than I could in one sentence right there. But with the likes of Tommy, I just want to see him on the right. I really do. I know Ben White's done really well, but Tommy Asher on the right's much better. And
I agree. It looks it looks more natural, doesn't it? It looks right when you have him on there on the side.
Here's one. Obviously, is one that we can go through. Is Tierney injured? That's the thing. Is Tierney injured?
Well, he's still getting on the bench, isn't he? So he can't be injured, surely.
Or has he got a problem with the manager?
There's something there. I mean, even when he put Cedric on at left back before Tierney come on at the weekend, when I said to you, well, Tierney's obviously done something. He's not, he said something. He slept with someone he shouldn't have slept with. There's something going on there that he's not quite right. because you don't get Cedric Suarez at left back ahead of Kieran Tierney in any realm.
Was this was called Cydric, according to the Arsenal
Cydric, yeah.
Cydric, yeah, it was Cydric, which I thought was quite funny.
I mean, obviously, he did in the end move Cedric over and Tierney on the left, but the fact that you chose to put Cedric at left back, for me, said everything you need to know. It's just like, well, there's something not quite right there, you know.
I'm
if you're Tierney, you must be. If you're Tierney, you're thinking, well, now I'm getting not only fair enough a left back playing there who's better in midfield, but I've got two right backs playing ahead of me at left back. What am I doing? He probably says that in a Scottish accent, by the way.
Yeah, and he's he is a world class player. He's very, very good. I love him. Again, and there's a lot of people that don't like him at the club, but I think he genuinely is a good player, and I think he's one that we should be. The only thing is, obviously, he's injury prone. So I know he's injury prone. Let's just wait and see what happens.
So Sean said Tommy is versatile. Yeah, he can play right and back. He can also play centre back. So it's good to have that versatility. And I think that Tommy has that, I suppose, physical stature. I think possibly more than Tierney does. He has got that. He's possibly stronger. But would he need that against Forest? I don't know. And he's put season just to clarify, not series. But it is still quite an odd move, and I don't think everything is right in the Tierney camp. But we'll see. There's one other player I want to mention before I get onto some nice and funny stuff, though. Was as you know, I'm on Facebook, and we get all of the lovely players who go on Facebook. I don't want to post the same things over and over again, but just to let you all know that Vieira is still posting out free links to his videos. Martin is inviting you all to his WhatsApp groups. Thankfully, though, Vieira's not hanging around with the ladies as much anymore, so he's learned his lesson on that. But he's still around. He's still. I would say that Fabio Vieira is the social butterfly of the Arsenal dressing room, 100%. And I will prove it from this one. But the one player who did post this week that I wanted to share was William Saliba, who's generally been quite quiet on this front. But after the PSV game, he felt like he had to post this. My only mistakes, I am sorry. Bless him. And then Fabio Vieira, head up, brother, working hard in.
Yeah.
Just working hard in.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's not from the same game, but he's upset. But there's some of the the encouraging comments from the Arsenal fans you can imagine.
The young PSV guy absolutely running ragged, didn't he?
Oh, Simmons, yeah, he does look great with that kid.
Absolutely running ragged. He really did.
So Vincent, boy, he doesn't really care about Saliba saying he's sorry for the mistake. He says, Vieira, help me get that Gabriel Jesus. He should stop dribbling. I hate him because he dribbled too much. Help me and tell Saka he should stop dribbling and they should start shooting. Ball to the net. Cheers. Yeah. And then Cap Changa has put, that's why you're not a player. Understand ball first. I mean, again, like they've come from the kind Guna, punctuation school. Guy, we lose a lot because they don't short boo once. Please deliver my message to him. That's
okay.
So
Vincent, we've lost one game.
Yeah.
In the league.
He's upset about Gabriel dribbling. To be fair, Vincent is pretty much saying what you say, but in a very roundabout way. What Vincent means is stand still.
Yeah.
That's literally all he means is stand still, Gabriel. Fabio, get the message to Gabriel for us to stand still. But he felt like he had to talk around this kind of aspect.
Yeah. So, long-winded, that one.
Our eyes are on you, avoid mistakes. We have forgiven you because the first goal was your mistake. We have forgiven you because it was your mistake. Anyway, we love you. Listen to me, William. Keep your head. I love that. Listen to me, William. Keep your head up. We will bounce back. Just keep focused. I stand by you.
Mate, news update. Marseille 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Just thought I'd put that out there for you.
I like that. Please tell me it was Sanchez scored.
That was it. Is it Bever that scored? But fabulous.
And then to finish this one, mistakes are a part of life. Shake it off, come back stronger. We love you. We're not scoring goals. This is our weakness. We forgive you, brother. Saliba, please focus more because we believe in you, bro, and we always watching you. That's a bit, freaky. We are always watching you. Little bit freaky. But that's the brief Facebook update. As you know, we could do a whole show on Facebook. You won't want to go there. So, Neil's in the chat. Just seen the Spurs score there. Well, evening, Neil. How are we doing? Evening, all. Songs as I think Vincent J. Boy is the only one dribbling here. Definitely. And here we go. Neil's got a question for you.
North London's red, my brother. Red right now. You know it.
I'm assuming that Napoli are still winning 0-0 as well, yeah? So that's good.
Yeah, Napoli is still winning 0-0, yeah.
So also, right, there was an interesting thing just before we leave William Saliba I wanted to share. People were obviously now harping on about Leandro Martinez at Man United.
What, mini-me? Why?
Yeah, well, they think he's better than Saliba, don't they? To be fair, since those first couple of games, he has been unwell. But I found the stats to prove otherwise. I just want to share this just to prove the otherwise. So this is based on 11 appearances each before the game at the weekend. To be fair, Martinez's are not terrible. They're not bad stats, but Saliba is way ahead.
Hang on. Let me have a little look at this. Let me see here. So from passing percentage perspective, 93%, right, over 86%. 62 giveaways as opposed to 96. Yeah. 3 goal assists, whereas they didn't have the booster seat for Martinez, so he couldn't help in that way. Julian, yeah, so ground duels, he's ground duels, he probably would be. He's closer to it than Saliba. And then from a recoveries perspective, 94 as opposed to 61. Mate, it's not even, you can't even say the same names in the same sentence.
No.
With that, I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is, against the normal run-of-the-mill defender, Martinez's stats would look pretty good. But for me, this shows how superior Saliba's been this season.
Yeah.
In that move. So I think I knew you'd love a stats. I knew you'd appreciate this bit. This is purely for you. This when I saw it, I thought, oh no, man, I'll love this.
He's just a stumpy little Man U player who think that everybody thinks is absolutely amazing. We've got the Rolls Royce. They've got the full Fiesta.
Let's leave it at that. By the way, I'm really not liking Anthony from Man United. I'm really not liking him. Did you see that stupid turny roundabout thing he done last week and then lost it?
He's a good player.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't like him. But did you see that against Sheriff when he done? It was against Sheriff, wasn't it? Ball come to him. He looked like he was playing FIFA, doing this roundabout turn, and then the ball just went flying off like a pinball. It was really funny, but like, what was he doing?
To me, the one that actually has made a massive difference for Man United is Casemiro. I genuinely didn't think he would be as good as he's been. And I think Casemiro has been a catalyst. He even had Slabhead came on, didn't he? Was playing this weekend and managed to.
Apparently, I didn't watch the United game. Also, he's travelling back, but he done all right. Apparently,
he managed to block the ball. Yeah, he managed to block. Yeah, and played fairly well. And I've always said actually he's not a bad defender. To be honest with you,
Neil agrees with me on Anthony. By the way, I agree. I just don't like him. He's just not likable.
Yeah.
Oh, James, nice to see you, mate, in the chat. Martinez is in stilts in that picture. He's so small, his hair smells of feet. Yes.
Well, what can we say?
We can either confirm or deny that. But I'm just guessing that it might be quite accurate comment on there.
We can't. To the YouTube police, we cannot be held responsible for what's said in the chat.
No, we've got no control over. We're not the ones who show. We've got no control over it.
It does a few. I was going to say, sorry, mate. There's a couple of times I've seen Martinez. It's like people slapping a little gnome around the garden that you don't want anymore. Honestly.
I do think when I saw him at the beginning of the season, I thought, well, you're never going to do well in this league. But when I've seen him recently, he has improved. And he's only 5'9", but he's quite strong, to be fair.
Yeah.
Am I glad we didn't get him? Yeah, I am. I'm much happier.
Absolutely.
Really happy with that one. So there's a few of the funnies that I've seen this week. So before we go on to the what's hot and what's not, there's a few little funny things.
Let's have some funny.
I found the greatest urinals in the world. And here they are.
Tottenham.
You seen them?
Absolutely fabulous. It's a shame there's no Jamie O'Hara on there.
There we go. So they've got a TV built into the urinals, and this is in the pub, I believe. Where was it? I think it's in Blackburn or Wigan or somewhere. But I mean, literally, if Tottenham are playing, you can literally piss on Tottenham. It's brilliant.
Wow.
I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm not quite sure the angle though. Like, the angle when you're watching.
That's Martinez's toilet, isn't it? That's about right for him. That's Martinez's toilet. That ain't actually a public toilet.
That's the Man United dressing room for Martinez, right there. So he can watch his highlights reel.
That's it, yeah.
Point out where he went wrong.
There you go. Like, when Tin Hat does his team talk.
So things like this both make me laugh and wonder where people had the time to come up with this stuff from. So this was before Liverpool played Nottingham Forest and lost. On Saturday, Trent Alexander-Arnold could become the first player to play in a Premier League game next to a river that shares his name since Don Hutchinson for Everton away to Sheffield Wednesday in 1999. Where do people get this from?
Why? Who cares? Oh my God!
I care because it got my attention, and I'm just thinking. Then it made me think, this man's got way too much time, and how long has he been waiting for someone? He must have been at the game when Don Hutchinson played next to the River Don, and he's been waiting for that. He's just been waiting for Trent Alexander-Arnold to play at Nottingham Forest. If he didn't play that day, he would have been spare. He would have had to wait another season for it.
At zonal marking. The thing is at zonal marking. He's actually gone, I know I've got a great Twitter name. I'm going to call it zonal marking. That's me. It's Michael Cox at zonal marking.
It's just like great, isn't it? And then this one made me laugh as well. You don't often get a Phil Jones funny tweet these days. But Phil Jones has outlasted 4 Tory prime ministers, a global pandemic, and 2 monarchs at Man United. True. It's another fact. Well done, Phil Jones. I mean, it's one of those facts.
He's another one who's got a face I can never grow tired of slapping. But I think he's probably quite fit and probably beating you up.
So also there's people obviously looking forward to January transfer window, as we already talked about.
Yeah.
So people have already started questioning some things. But I think it was AFC Max has gone one step further. He's not thinking about buying players, but I don't think I'd enter even anyone in January.
Oh, wow.
I actually laughed way too much at this tweet for too long. I mean, he does get it right down below. Wants FFS, but the comment below that, I'm sure if they're a good boy, he will consider it. I just love that. That's one of my favourite tweets I've seen in a long while. When I read it, I just that's just brilliant. I mean, yeah, he did take a little couple of minutes. Why he just didn't delete the one he done? He just thought he had to add on the bottom one. But it's just brilliant.
Mate, that's gonna be the best ones. You should forward that to Arteta and let him have a
again, for YouTube, this is not our faults, by the way. This is AFC Max. Nothing. We don't condone what he's saying.
And I do think so. Here's the thing, right? What makes this even better is that was obviously an autocorrect that's done that. And what has he been actually typing, right, for that to actually come up on his autocorrect?
No. Unbelievable. And there's one more little funny before I go on to the what's hot, what's not. Obviously, it was Halloween last night. I've got children. My little one loves Halloween. We had to go some shopping to get him a new Halloween outfit. Did see this outfit, but didn't let him buy it. The Spurs fan outfit. Includes a brand white kit, expensive season ticket, skipper, delusional attitude, but it doesn't include trophies or friends.
Has it got a set of goalies gloves for it as well?
There were plenty of them in the shop. That's all I'll tell you. There's plenty of them left in the shop.
I've got to tip my hat to James for highlighting what the Marseille guys, actually the fans, did to the. So if anybody gets a chance, go out and look on Twitter and have a look at what the Marseille fans did to the Tottenham.
Oh, the fireworks!
The fireworks at the Tottenham hotel at 3:00 in the morning. Absolute mercenaries. Love it.
I've got another one who doesn't like Anthony as well. I'll take it. Anthony is a clown. Yeah, Martin's good players, no doubt. The season's only one winner. Exactly. Saliba all the way. James makes me laugh wherever I go. Yep, James got some good comments on there. Hold on, what we got here? More like Whedon instead of Whedon. Oh, I remember that one. I'll see myself out. No, you can stay, James. Don't you worry about that. We're all good. If you want to watch the game, I like that. So that's for the pisser. The game you're in, the right place. I love that. you've got. Oh, I've got to find out where that is. I'm sure they've got to have that as their tagline. I can't remember what one that was possibly commenting on, but possibly most of them. Possibly the Trent, the River Trent one.
Yeah.
Just catching up on these. Not quite sure what's brilliant, but I think they're all pretty good.
That was
Even
I think that was the Arteta wrist motion.
and I'm thinking if that's my son, you shouldn't be watching that. You know, naughty. It's after the watershed now, so we're all right. It's 1 minute past 9. We're fine. And then Dave's got. You'd think being top of the league, Mikel wouldn't have to resort to those measures to convince players. Maybe now we know how he does sign the players. Maybe that's the trick.
You never know, mate. You never know.
The Duke tape, Neil. What's the Duke tape? Anything you want to share, Neil? Duke tape, is that special? I don't know. Interestingly to know. So anyway, we're going to come on to the what's not, what's hot before we finish up the show. We're just about on the hour, but there's quite a few what's hot and what's not this week I want to share. So first of all, I just want to sort, again, it's becoming a bit of a theme now, but do you know what? Arsenal have released something again this week. The Arsenal Love Unites unisex T-shirt. You see that?
What?
Hang on.
Oh, it's like something someone's thrown together out of all the bits they got lying around.
So this is yet another. I've literally lost count now about how many ranges of clothing that we've brought out this season, but this must be 6th or 7th line, and it's by far the worst yet. And I think it was the one they wore in the warm-up on Sunday. But look at it. How does love? I mean, love might unite, but that shirt certainly doesn't unite. Look at it. I mean, like my little one's 6, and he could do a better job than that. He literally could do a better job than that. It's awful. But not only are they constantly knocking out clothes, they decided to knock out this range as well. Shop with the Arsenal colour collection. If you need socks, caps, bum bags, water bottles, caps, where's all this come from? Looks like
it looks like a fancy dress outfit for Deliverance.
For me, it looks like when you go down the middle aisles of Lidl and Aldi, you get that kind of stuff in.
Yeah.
Like, when did we become a supermarket all of a sudden? I know that we've been a clothing brand for a while, but now we've gone into the realm of bum bags. And
hang on. I think they bought a job lot of that Jesse Lingard stuff that he couldn't sell, and they've just brought it. They're just trying to plug it off to the fans.
Stuck a few cannons on it.
Exactly.
But it's getting
more likely to sell than Jesse's clothesline.
We last done a show 2 weeks ago, and they released another range of clothes, which again they were the nicest ones so far. And since in those last 2 weeks, they've released another clothing range and this colour stuff. Leave us alone. Let us get over it. I mean, Christmas is not even here yet. Lead up to Christmas, how many more are we going to have? The Arsenal Christmas collection is going to be out next, and then it'll be the new year. I'm sure there'll be a World Cup collection. There'll be colours of the players who are there. It's gone too far, Arsenal. It's gone too far. Just one more what's not this week, and it's from Garth Crooks. I don't know if you saw this comment.
Bless
but he commented this on the BBC. Arsenal top of the league with 2 games to play before the World Cup. With a bit of luck, that should break their momentum. There's no bitterness there at all, is there, Garth? No bitterness at all.
Goes back to what I was saying earlier, that the more that we're doing what we're doing, the more these guys are getting bitter and twisted. That's why just keep going. Everybody get together behind it and keep the momentum going. Listen, I love it. I love it when you got to say, sort of has-beens like Garth Crook, who, let's face it, never set the world alight.
Horrible little man, though, really. Like, come on. I mean, I just don't get the point. Like, it's so bitter. Like, it must. The only thing I like about it is it must really wind him up. People like that, it must really wind him up. That he obviously has a dislike for the club. It must really, really get to him.
I might start commenting on his Twitter feed, DM him, see if he fancies coming on for a little chat. Come on, Garth, you come on and have a little chat, my friend. Your little ego. We'll look after you. I'll give you a little stroke on the head and tell you everything's going to be all right.
Exactly. Before I go on to what's hot, there's just a couple of things I wanted to mention. First of all, is a big kind of well wishes out to this guy who obviously got into some trouble last week.
Oh mate, yeah, my heart goes out to out to him.
Everyone involved in that,
and the poor person that lost their life. Nothing but love. I thought the shirt when we scored the goal, what the guys did with the shirt, absolute class. Yeah, and he's out of hospital now, by the way. He's out of hospital now, but it's a couple of weeks before he'll be back.
As he said in his statement, he was the lucky one. He was the lucky one. But, it's one of these things that brings reality crashing down to you, doesn't it? It's like things like that. It shouldn't be happening in life.
No.
Like, there's just some crazy people out there who obviously need help. The people who are involved in this kind of stuff, they're not getting the help they need. But, it's just a bit of a reality check that this is kind of the world we live in. So, much love to Pablo out there. Speedy recovery.
Whatever we think about his football or any of that nonsense, like we just wish him a speedy recovery. Love from everybody here, and no one needs to go through that.
Exactly. But Pablo's on loan. I want to talk about a couple of other loanees on the What's Hot section. Now, you've never thought this would be coming, but look who's on the What's Hot. Mr. Pepe. 4 goals and 2 man of the match awards for Nicolas Pepe in his last 6 games. He is setting the Farmers League alight, apparently.
Brilliant. 100 million. You can have it.
And look how happy he looks. Look at his face. Look, he's well happy there.
It's different, isn't it? It's amazing when you see, actually, when and it just goes to show, it is a lot of it is about your own self-belief and confidence, and it's great to see him doing well.
And is it a coincidence that Aaron Ramsey started getting a regular run out in that team? You know what I mean? From what I gather as well, I don't really follow it, to the hilt. From what I gather, Aaron Ramsey was in and out of the team at the beginning of the season, but the last 4 or 5 games he's been getting a run out. He's been playing all, from the start. Maybe he's been combining with Pepe and, an Arsenal collective over there. So, good luck, Pepe. Good, either come back stronger or get us some money back. One of the two. One of the two. And also this fella, Mr. Austin Trusty. Did you see the goal on Friday night?
I didn't, but I've read the reviews on it. Apparently, it's an absolute screamer.
It was a pretty special goal. I mean, I don't know if he's confirmed whether he actually meant it or not. Whether or not it was a good goal. And again, from what I'm seeing and what I'm reading, he looks a player. He looks a very confident ball-playing defender. I know it's a championship, but from what I'm gathering so far and from what the Birmingham City fans are talking to him about online, he looks a very decent centre-back who's happy to get back the ball down, play it out of defence. He's strong in the tackle. And this season, he's only going to benefit him. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He looks another real find. So, keep your eye out for this fella, Austin Trusty. He's got a brother called Metro, so we'll see if he's half as good.
And he's Jesus Christ. And he's come from the Cronkies MLS team, isn't he?
Colorado Rapids, yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of cost us absolutely nothing, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to him coming back. Let's get him a season under his belt because he signed in January last year, didn't he? But went out, stayed in America, and then come out, gone on loan. So who knows? Maybe next season we'll see, or maybe we're going to another loan. But he looks a good prospect. So yeah, definitely. A couple more on the What's Hot was I saw this photo of some Sunderland fans travelling down to Luton away at the weekend. They done it proper. This is how you travel. That's how you go on a train from Sunderland to Luton. That's how you do it, boys. That's how you do it. I absolutely love that. 1-1 draw. I hope they had one for going home as well. There was also this one from a Man City fan. Don't usually like to put Man City stuff, but this Man City fan I thought deserves a shout out. Bit of a milestone for me tonight. Managed 923 consecutive competitive games before lockdown. And since lockdown tonight is the 77th game we've been allowed to attend. 1,000 games in a row this guy's done. I mean, well done, Darren Page. I think 1,000 games in a row, that is commitment. That is commitment. And a very understanding wife is all, that's what I'm going to say.
Maybe she goes with him, mate. Maybe she goes with him.
And I hope that's the foundation that their marriage is built around. Or husband. We don't know. We don't know.
Life partner. Just say life partner.
We don't know these things. So I thought he was worth a shout out. And then the last one I want to show tonight was for Danny Ings, which has never featured on the show before. But this was from the game a couple of weeks ago. I think it was when Villa got battered. But this is Danny Ings leading out their mascot. Basically, he had a disability, and he walks out because of the noise. He had kind of ear. What's the word? I can't even think of them. Headphones, basically, to block out the sound. So Danny Ings wore them as well. So the little kid didn't feel odd or left out. And I thought that was such a nice touch. And this is where kind of I think footballers show that they're humans as well. And I love to see things like that. So well played, Danny Ings, on that one. I thought that was a lovely thing to see.
Nice touch, mate. Nice touch.
Very good touch. Well done, Danny Ings. Well done, Man City. Well done, Sunderland fans. We've got a few more comments to catch up on. So we'll do that just before we go. I've got to cycle back. There we go. The Duke tapes. We're on the Duke tape. So sorry, lads. The above is an example of a snide joke. Oh, this is what we don't know about. This is an in joke with the Duke tape. Inside joke. Oh, I missed this bit. The Deliverance. Yes.
Get your Arsenal Deliverance fancy dress outfit and free banjo with your Arsenal points, Arsenal reward points.
Oh, we got here. Kind of facing the right way and added us a little by it. It's true. This is going back down to the whole kit idea. Okay, we're a bit behind on this. I can't stand that kit. Never have, never will.
That's Garth Crooks. That's Mr.
Garth Crooks. Yeah, definitely. Garth Crooks should stick to country music. His football takes. He is. His football takes are awful. I don't even think Spurs fans particularly like him either. Really, I don't really know how he gets these jobs. Stay in your lane, Crooks. Definitely. Great gesture from the players. Love that. Yeah, definitely. That was with the shirt. Thoughts with those effective, 100%. Trusty, yeah. He looks great. He looks really, really good. And I hope we do have a future. We do. Patino as well. Yeah, again, he's
playing well,
ripping it up at Blackpool. I can't wait to see him come back. Actually. And here is Neil. I think with the comment of the night, positive Neil, as we know. It's looking like we'll dominate for about 12 years. Yes. There's a certain Mr. Erling Haaland we might have to talk to about that, but things are looking bright. Things are looking very bright. So I think that's about as good a place to leave it as we can on that bright note. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Steve, thank you as always. Thank you again for your amazing company at the weekend at the game. Nowhere I would have rather been. But yeah, anything you want to say, words of wisdom to leave us tonight?
I would like to thank everybody for their time. I would like to thank everybody that's watched. I'd like to thank all the critics at TalkSport for just being so bitter and twisted and conceited. And long may it continue. Garth Crooks, you're a nobody. And of course, as we all know, Neil, North London is red. North London! Get in there!
Also, update. Napoli 1-0 up against Liverpool. So there is a better place to leave tonight on.
Yeah, Ostingard, Odegaard's brother, scored it.
Cheers, Neil. Thanks for joining in, mate. No worries. You don't late or whatever. You made it on. That's all we care about. That's all we care about. Anyway, everyone in the chat, everyone who watches this afterwards, thank you so much. We will likely see you next week. Take it easy. Much love. Come on, you guys.
North London!